On freshman registration day, the notoriously aloof campus beauty snatched my enrollment form. In the marital status box, she wrote, married. Then, under family members, she wrote down my name and phone number. For our relationship, she simply wrote spouses. When my childhood sweetheart saw that, her brain instantly short-circuited. She had just rejected my confession, and I had already gotten married. A year earlier, my childhood sweetheart told me that if I helped her study her way into college, she would agree to be my girlfriend. After 4 whole years of fawning over her, I was as thrilled as a dog spotting a bone. I had already gotten into a good university, but I resolutely chose to repeat my senior year. I gave up every moment of rest, waking before dawn each day to organize her study materials. Late at night, I patiently explained problems to her. It was exhausting, but I kept telling myself, as long as I got her into college, I would be her boyfriend. I quietly persevered for a year. At last, my childhood sweetheart made it into college. The moment I heard the news, I asked her to meet me at the park. Holding a bouquet, I told her, "You promised me last year, if I helped you get into college, you'd be my girlfriend." I looked at her hopefully, but impatience crossed her face. "Oh, please, will you stop pestering me? I got into college on my own merits." "Okay." Her tone was unyielding. With that, she turned and walked away. I watched her retreating figure grow distant, then laughed bitterly at myself. That smile was full of bitterness and helplessness. Seeing her attitude, I finally woke up. To her, everything I had done was simply taken for granted. I was nothing more than someone she could take or leave. I let out a long sigh, my heart heavy with loneliness. For years of effort had been completely wasted. What a joke love was. Anyone who wants to date can go right ahead. Just as I was about to leave, a light rain began to fall. I wandered aimlessly through the rain. My clothes were soaked, but I barely noticed. Then suddenly, I heard a splash from the small lake ahead. I looked over instinctively. A slender figure stood silently by the water. Under the dim lights, her rain-soaked long hair hung mistily down her back. Her white dress clung to her body, outlining her graceful curves. As I wondered what she was doing, another splash rang out. She had thrown her phone into the water. My heart clenched. It was late at night, and it was raining. Could she be trying to kill herself? I had no time to think. I ran toward her at once. I'd only taken a few steps when she leaped into the lake. This was no ordinary dive. She did not struggle at all, letting the lake water cover her head. She was clearly trying to die. Gritting my teeth, I jumped in after her. The icy water instantly engulfed me. I grabbed her as she waited for death with her eyes closed. Startled, she began to struggle. She suddenly fought with terrifying strength, nearly dragging me under too. At that life or death moment, I slapped her hard across the face. "Stop struggling," I snorted coldly. The pain in her face made her go still at once. More than 10 seconds later, I collapsed onto the shore, gasping for air, still shaken to my core. If I had not known how to swim, I probably would not have made it out alive. After resting for a moment, I turned to look at her pale face beside me. Her eyes were shut tight, and her lips had turned purple. She was clearly unconscious. Panicked, I did not know what to do. Then first aid tips from videos flashed through my mind. I could not worry about propriety between men and women. I quickly crouched down and began chest compressions and mouth-to-mouth. Gradually, Mikai slowly regained consciousness, from falling into the water to being pulled ashore. It had been less than 2 minutes. Her head felt terribly heavy. The feeling of suffocation had not fully faded. It felt as if a huge stone were crushing her chest, making it hard to breathe. She weakly opened her eyes and saw a face right before her. Impossibly handsome. Dazed, she thought, "Is that really an angel? He's so beautiful, but he looks awfully worried." Just as she wondered, that face moved closer and closer. Warm, soft lips suddenly pressed against hers. She was puzzled. Why does this angel seem like such a pervert? As I pressed repeatedly on her chest, she began to cough violently. When I saw her finally open her eyes, I could not help asking, "Does anything hurt?" My voice was hoarse with excitement. I had no idea my hand was still on her chest. Mikai took a moment to recover, then slowly made out the scene before her. She realized she was still alive. Looking at the man before her, she was furious. He was no angel. He was obviously a pervert. She remembered him stealing her first kiss and slapping her in the face. Her anger surged at once. She had never suffered such an absurd injustice in her life. Her right cheek still throbbed faintly. And now this man was still taking advantage of her. Once Mikai had caught her breath, she suddenly shoved me. At the same time, she shouted, "You disgusting pervert." I was caught off guard. I sprawled straight onto the ground, getting filthy all over. I simply sat there on the ground, staring up at her in utter bewilderment. My eyes were full of innocence and confusion. I had clearly saved her life, yet she woke up and cursed me instead. Seeing her defensively cover her chest with both hands, I finally understood. Oh no, I had been too excited. I had forgotten to move my hand. Was I really about to get myself thrown in jail, with room and board included? I hurriedly scrambled to my feet and quickly explained, "You were unconscious from drowning. I was saving you. I was so happy to see you open your eyes that I got carried away and forgot to move my hand." Mikai rubbed her swollen right cheek, glaring at me, hurt and furious. "Then why did you slap me?" I quickly said, "That was an emergency. Otherwise, how would you have known what pain felt like? But if you ever have those thoughts again, I would not mind giving you a few more slaps." As I spoke, I raised my right hand, as if I were about to hit her. I only did that to tell her that giving up so easily was not okay. I was serious, and I meant to see it through. Seeing how fierce I looked, Mikai felt a flicker of worry. Would this guy become abusive someday? She felt sorry for his future girlfriend for 3 seconds. Then another thought struck her. He had seemed so worried just now. Could he have a split personality? The more she thought about it, the more suspicious she became. Mikai apologized softly, her voice trembling. "I'm sorry. I will not think that way again. I misunderstood you." It was the first time in her life she had humbled herself before a man. I relaxed. Smiling, I said, "Good. You really scared me just now. My name is Yunmo. And yours?" She answered softly, "My name is Mikai." "That is a lovely name." I praised her without hesitation. With a gentle smile on my face, she lowered her head slightly, a faint blush coloring her cheeks. Afterward, I took her to the hospital. Fortunately, the examination found nothing serious. I looked at her, the corner of my mouth lifting. Do you have somewhere to stay?" She looked a little embarrassed. She said she had planned to move before the break. Her old place was far from campus, but everything happened too suddenly for her to prepare. She had also lost the little bag containing her identification. She mumbled shyly. Hearing that, I was immediately at a loss. Taking her home seemed improper, with just a man and a woman alone. I even considered taking her to the police station instead. Just as I was considering it, she spoke quietly. "Can I go home with you?" Her voice was so soft, it was as if she feared the wind might hear. She sounded not only cautious, but helpless too. I fixed my eyes on her, as if I could see straight through her thoughts. "You are not planning to steal my kidney, are you?" The moment I said it, she could not stop herself from laughing. Clearly, she had not expected my thoughts to take such a bizarre turn. But then she remembered how he had stolen her first kiss for no reason, then recalled those sleazy men in videos who got women into bed, then immediately denied all responsibility. Her fury flared. She shouted, "You are not trying to avoid taking responsibility, are you?" Her lips curled upward, and she lifted her chin slightly. Her cheeks were bright red, but her gaze was stubborn. She stared hard at me, as though demanding an answer that satisfied her. Honestly, that one sentence made my brain shut down. Take responsibility? Why should I take responsibility? I had not done anything. I could only force myself to ask, "What do you mean?" When she saw how confused I was, she grew even angrier. The words poured out of her. "You held me, kissed me, and your hands were all over me." Her voice gradually softened, as though the words were stuck in her throat. Finally, she added hesitantly, "That was my first kiss." I was completely stunned. I groaned inwardly. She was really bringing that up. Could a man who saved her life be worth so little? Besides, I had lost my first kiss too. All right. I stole a glance at Mikai, whose face was red with anger. A scene from those novels suddenly popped into my head. The hero saves the beautiful heroine, and she marries him to repay him. Could it be that I had really stumbled into such unbelievable luck? But I had sworn not long ago that I had sealed my heart in concrete. I did not want anything to do with love again. My gaze traveled over Mikai. This girl was rather pretty. After thinking it over, I muttered, if it were her, that would not be so bad. Hey, Mikai perked up her ears. After catching a few words, she saw me staring at her so intently. Her face turned pale at once. Could his lust be getting the better of him? She was still so weak. If he really meant to go that far. She quickly waved her hands and said anxiously, "I was just joking with you." Do not take it seriously. Oh, come on. So much for getting excited. I thought I might start a sweet romance today. Pretty girls really are the best at fooling people. After hesitating for a long while, I cautiously asked, "So, are you coming home with me?" Mikai gently bit her lower lip, her eyes fixed on the black sky. She touched her weakened body. Then she said quietly, "I know. If I do not go with you, I will probably be sleeping on the street tonight." With that, she nodded. I let out a breath. "Then let us go." Leaving her with those words, I turned and headed home. She stomped her foot in frustration and shouted, "Hey, can you not wait for me?" Her voice was full of grievance. Without looking back, I kept walking without slowing down. At the entrance to my apartment complex, I stopped. I turned to look at her, then hesitated. I handed her my phone. "Call your family and let them know you are safe." I did not know what she had been through, but after trying to end her life tonight, her family must be worried sick. When I was little, if I came home even a little late, my mom would lecture me for ages. Mikai nodded and took the phone. "My place is on the 6th floor. Do not forget." Only after she answered, did I turn and enter the elevator. I thought it was best to give her some space. After Mikai finished her call, she entered the elevator too. Out of habit, she opened the green WeChat app on my phone. At once, she saw the pinned contact, Yan Lan. Her heart stirred. Is she his girlfriend? Her finger drifted unconsciously across the screen, and she inexplicably opened the chat. The elevator doors slowly opened. I was sitting by my door. Hearing the doors open, I quickly came out. I lived in the apartment at the end of the hall. Besides mine, there was only one other rented apartment. The neighbor rarely came back, but I could not be sure tonight was not an exception. If Mikai knocked on the wrong door, I would have a lot of explaining to do. So I went upstairs, changed clothes, and waited by the door, playing on my tablet. The old complex was run down. The hallway lights had been broken for days, with no one fixing them. The corridor was pitch dark, with only a little light spilling out from the elevator. The moment I reached my door, I saw Mikai come out clutching my phone. What was with that glowing green light? I looked confused. I lowered my head and thought for a long time. Then inspiration struck. Pointing at her, I said, "Do not tell me you were using my phone to trade stocks. It is glowing green. One bad trade, and I will be drowning in debt." Mikai looked completely baffled. She had not expected me to be waiting for her in the hallway. It inexplicably warmed her heart. "Then why is your face green like that?" I asked, pointing at the green glow on her face. Just as she was thinking he was actually quite nice, Mikai began to feel embarrassed. She remembered that she had snooped through his chat history. Though it had been unintentional, she had still looked. She knew all too well the humiliation of having one's privacy invaded. When she was little, Ms. Wang was always snooping through her private things. Whenever caught, she would argue her case. But it always ended with Mom saying, "I'm only doing this for your own good." She could only surrender. What a shame. Thinking of that, Mikai's eyes reddened. The hallway was too dark, so I did not notice anything wrong. "Come on," I said softly, then turned and walked ahead. Mikai silently followed behind. She did not say a word. Her heart was tangled with indecision. Did she have to apologize again? Growing up, her family had denied her nothing except being close to boys. They had done their best to give her everything else. Apologizing had never been in her vocabulary. Yet today, she had apologized twice to the same man. After all, she had been the one at fault first. The moment they entered, she softly said, "I am sorry. I was bending over to get slippers from the shoe cabinet when my hand froze in midair." I was puzzled. Why was she suddenly apologizing? I stood up and handed her the slippers. Mikai looked uneasy. It was her first time in a man's home, and she had to wear someone else's slippers. She had heard that men's feet smelled awful. Would she get athlete's foot from wearing his slippers? As she hesitated, I anxiously asked, "Did you see my study materials?" I hurriedly snatched my phone back from Mikai. My fingers flew over the screen. My mind was in complete chaos. The phone had a passcode, but who knew whether Mikai had accidentally entered it correctly? Otherwise, how could I explain that sudden apology? Mikai did not hesitate long in the entryway. After changing into the slippers, she began looking around on her own. I put down my phone and watched Mikai inspect the room. Pointing to the bathroom door, I said, "Go take a shower first." Then I turned and went into the kitchen. I had not eaten anything since the afternoon. I was starving. Soon afterward, Mikai entered the bathroom. She adjusted the water temperature and prepared to wash her face. Out of habit, she reached for facial cleanser on the counter. But there was nothing there. Her brows instantly knotted. She checked again carefully, her eyes widening in disbelief. There was no facial cleanser. There was no body wash or shampoo either. How was she supposed to wash? Did he not use any of those things? She could not believe her own conclusion. But she could not explain this strange situation. So she had no choice but to call out to me from the bathroom. Fortunately, the apartment was small. I was boiling water in the kitchen. Hearing her, I poked my head out from the kitchen. What is it? Mikai asked helplessly. How am I supposed to wash my face? I looked baffled. Mikai did not look underage. How could she not even know how to wash her face? She called for me. Did she want me to wash her face for her? And after that, would she want me to bathe her too? My mind had gone somewhere it should not. I quickly coughed twice, pushing those fantasies aside. First, wet the towel with water. Then, before I could finish, Mikai cut me off. You do not even have facial cleanser. What does Yunmo even use to bathe? She rolled her eyes. Do I really look like some pretty airhead? I may have been spoiled since childhood, but I still have basic life skills. I smiled awkwardly. So I had misunderstood. It was only a shower. Did she really need all that stuff? Was not a bar of soap enough? One bar, from head to toe. See that bar of soap on the sink? I use it for my hair, face, and body. With that, I went back to working in the kitchen. Mikai found only a tiny piece of soap left in the corner. Her little face was full of disgust. Use this from head to toe. What a joke. She had wanted to ask me for help, but after calling several times without an answer, she could only pout. After hesitating for a while, she finally gave in, and reluctantly began washing with the soap. More than 20 minutes later, the bathroom door gently opened from within. Mikai poked her head out. Her large, round eyes scanned the living room. Seeing I was not there, she came out, her little face flushed pink. She sat on the couch, toying with her half-dry long hair. Strands curled around her fingers. Dinner's ready. My slightly weary voice came from behind her. Mikai's heart leaped into her throat. Was he not even pretending anymore? She stiffly turned her head and saw me carrying out the dishes. Aren't you hungry? Seeing her sit there dazed, I asked. Bite, you mean dinner? Mikai asked cautiously, her voice trembling with nerves. I looked completely confused. What a bizarre question. What else could eating mean, if not dinner? Still, I nodded at her. Phew. Mikai patted her chest and let out a long breath. She had been overthinking it. Her underwear had been soaked by the rain. She had taken it off and washed it while showering. Now, she was wearing nothing underneath. The slight sway of her chest caught my eye. My throat bobbed involuntarily. A strange feeling flashed through me. So supple. So big. Those were my most immediate thoughts. Mikai only had food on her mind. She did not notice anything strange about me. She sat down and let out a long breath. A blissful expression appeared on her face. It smells so good. Avoiding her gaze, I handed her chopsticks. There was a trace of gentleness in my voice. Let's eat. Thank you. Mikai sweetly accepted the chopsticks and smiled at me. You're welcome. Her smile rubbed off on me, and my lips curved up. A smile never disappears. It only moves to someone else. Every so often, I looked up at her in secret. I found that she ate very elegantly. She chewed every bite slowly and carefully. I did not quite understand. How long was this going to take? Perhaps because I looked too often. She noticed my gaze too. She began thinking of something to say. The silence between us had gone on too long. It was getting a little awkward. Mikai spoke first. Thank you for today. I replied gently. You're welcome. I would have saved anyone else too. My answer left Mikai a little at a loss. She gave an awkward smile, then changed the subject, saying the potatoes were delicious. I gave a brief response. Mikai did not know what else to say. Usually, others were the ones who started conversations with her. Besides, we had only met today. 15 minutes later, Mikai had eaten her fill. Smacking her lips, she softly said, "That was so satisfying." She felt this was the best meal she had ever eaten. She pulled a tissue from the box and wiped her mouth. Then she said to me as I cleared the dishes, "Yunmo, you're such a good person." I gave a faint smile. Something soft inside me stirred. I did not answer. My hands paused as I cleared up. Then Mikai suddenly offered, "Let me wash the dishes." As she said it, she lowered her head slightly. Her fingers unconsciously tugged at the hem of her shirt as she waited for my answer. She felt guilty about eating and staying for free, and the hospital visit had cost me money too. That was why she made the offer so guiltily. I waved it off. The tablet is on the couch. If you're bored, go play with it. I turned and gave her a gentle smile. Clearly, I did not take her offer very seriously. With Mikai's soft, pale hands, it was obvious she had never done manual labor. Believing she could wash dishes would be easier than believing I was Qin Shi Huang himself. After saying that, I headed straight into the kitchen. Listening to the running water from the kitchen, Mikai stared wide-eyed in disbelief. What was that about? Was I going to eat the dishes or something? She had finally taken the initiative for once, only to be completely shut down. Jerk, Mikai pouted. Her cheeks puffed out in anger, her face full of displeasure. With nothing else to do, she slowly walked over to the couch, picked up the tablet and began playing with it. Half an hour later, Mikai's eyelids grew heavy as she scrolled through videos. Rubbing her eyes, she realized it had somehow become the middle of the night. Sleepiness washed over her like a tide. Then a new problem troubled her. Where was she supposed to sleep? She recalled seeing only one bedroom when she first looked around the apartment. She let out an uncontrollable yawn and looked back toward the kitchen. The lights had gone out at some point. The bedroom door was tightly shut. She understood that I had already gone to sleep. When did he go to bed? I did not notice at all. He brought me home and did not even arrange somewhere for me to sleep. Mikai grumbled under her breath as she shifted around on the couch. She found a comfortable position. Looks like I can only sleep on the couch tonight. That was what she thought to herself. I never thought Mikai, would end up like this. She sighed helplessly. Yet several minutes passed, and Mikai kept tossing and turning on the couch, unable to fall asleep. She was already particular about where she slept, and this couch was hard and too short. Her whole body felt uncomfortable. Of course she could not sleep. Anyone unaware of the truth might think she was being tortured. At that moment, Mikai desperately missed her soft bed. The more she thought about it, the redder her eyes became. There is a special kind of exhaustion, being desperately tired but unable to sleep. What should she do? How about? Mikai's mind raced. The bed in the bedroom had to be soft, but then she remembered I was sleeping in it. She hesitantly bit her lip. Her brows drew tightly together in deep conflict. She did not know whether I behaved myself in my sleep. What if he started getting handsy while asleep? Besides, she was a deep sleeper, the kind even thunder could not wake. Mikai yawned again. The exhaustion had left her barely lucid. After a fierce inner struggle, she finally gritted her teeth and stamped her foot. Whatever. Whether he was good or bad, she would deal with that later. Having made up her mind, she quietly entered the bedroom. She looked at me lying on my side in bed. Taking a deep breath, she cautiously approached the bed. She was terrified of waking me by accident. After hesitating briefly, she steeled herself, climbed into bed, and lay down beside me. Her body tensed uncontrollably. In all her life, this was the first time she had been this close to a man. Her heart raced wildly. But Mikai had been through too much today and was truly exhausted. Listening to my steady breathing beside her, her eyelids grew heavier until she gradually drifted to sleep. At noon the next day, my mother, who had brought over vegetables, found two strangers at the door. What are you doing here? She quickly spoke up, a kindly smile on her face. I'm here to find my granddaughter. Zhang frowned slightly, puzzled. The elderly woman stared in surprise. Our young lady called last night and said she was here. Butler Jing hurriedly added, her face full of anxiety. At first, Zhang did not believe them. She thought they might be scammers. Only after checking the call history did she half believe them. She knew my phone number better than anyone. Zhang wondered to herself, didn't that boy like Yan Lan? He had only just graduated. How had he already brought a girl home? Thinking of last night, Zhang sensed something was off. Had her son really taken that girl out on a date? The other just stood there awkwardly as well. They simply stared at one another. The atmosphere was a little awkward. They could not just keep standing there. But she did not know when her son would return. Zhang hesitated for a moment, then took the keys from her bag. She opened the door. Come in, quickly. Do not stand outside. Once the two had sat on the couch, Zhang said, have a seat for a while. I'll make a call. She picked up her phone and dialed my number. Just then, a phone began ringing in the kitchen. Zhang looked astonished. Young people never go anywhere without their phones. So, why had Yunmo left his at home? He had never been absent-minded since he was little. Filled with confusion, her gaze unconsciously shifted toward the closed bedroom door. A thought flashed through her mind, and her expression changed slightly. Zhang hurried forward and pushed open the bedroom door. The sight on the bed left her frozen. 2.5 minutes later, Zhang Ya helped the weak Mikai out of the bedroom. Jing and the old lady on the couch immediately turned toward the doorway. Seeing Mikai's frail expression, both of them showed surprise. They sprang up from the couch on instinct. Mikai. Hearing that familiar, affectionate call, Mikai seemed to use all her strength to weakly answer her grandmother. Not long after that, it took her away. Zhang Ya stood at the door and watched them leave. After the elevator doors slowly closed, she finally shut the door. She could not let outsiders hear about this. Thinking so, she became guarded. Zhang Ya raised her voice and said, "Come out." Zhang Ya walked to the bedroom door. Her voice was quiet, but carried an unmistakable command. A faint sound came from the bedroom. Soon, slippers tapped against the floor. I cautiously poked my head out, my face full of unease. I warily scanned the living room. Only after confirming Mikai had left did I breathe a sigh of relief. Trembling, I left the bedroom and sat on the couch. Guiltily, I glanced at my mother, Zhang Ya. The instant our eyes met, I felt as if I had been slashed by a blade. Zhang Ya's silent death stare made my entire body tense. Panic gripped my heart. I felt like a thief caught red-handed. I hurriedly looked away and lowered my head. Zhang Ya gave a quiet, icy snort. That snort was full of anger and displeasure. Seeing me try to bluff my way through it only made her anger burn hotter. Such a major thing, and her son had not told her. She had thought I liked Yan Lan. She never expected this visit would give her such a shock. Are you not going to explain yourself? What is that girl's relationship to you? Zhang Ya stared at me sharply, as if she could see right through me. Mom, if I said I only met her last night, would you believe me? My voice trembled involuntarily as I said it. I had no confidence in my words. The moment the words left my mouth, let alone Zhang Ya, no one else would have believed me either. So, you met last night, then slept together right away. Zhang Ya's voice rose sharply. Her anger was written all over her face. The moment she entered the bedroom, she saw the girl holding me. How could that not make her angry? Yes, Mom. My voice was barely louder than a mosquito's buzz. I lowered my head even further. I wish the floor would swallow me whole. Do you take me for a fool? Do you think I am that easy to fool? Zhang Ya's eyes were full of disbelief and disappointment. I know it is hard to believe, but that is the truth. No wonder you borrowed money from me in the middle of the night, Zhang Ya said, as though she had suddenly understood. A flicker of realization passed through her eyes. I see you think you are all grown up now. When your father gets here, you can explain it to him yourself. As she spoke, Zhang Ya took out her phone and quickly called Fang Jianguo. I tried to stop her, but the call had already connected. It was too late. My hand froze in midair, my face helpless. The person I feared most in this family was my father, Fang Jianguo. Growing up, whenever I made mistakes, my parents would discipline me. But once things were serious enough for Fang Jianguo to step in, the terrifying sight of his belt drawing blood would follow. It really is not what you think. I tried to explain, my voice close to tears, but Zhang Ya would not listen. Her face was full of rage. She lowered her head in disappointment. Her hands clenched into fists. Her knuckles had turned white from the force. She was filled with disappointment and heartbreak over me. She silently waited for Fang Jianguo to arrive. Before long, rapid knocking sounded at the door. Under Zhang Ya's murderous glare, I reluctantly rose from the couch and walked to the door. The moment I opened it, Fang Jianguo headed straight for the couch and sat down. His chest heaved violently. After a while, he finally asked between gasps, "What happened?" Zhang Ya had only said over the phone, "Your precious son is all grown up now. I cannot control him anymore." So Fang Jianguo looked utterly confused, with no idea what had happened. "Let your precious son tell you himself," Zhang Ya said irritably. She turned slightly and pointed at me, as if accusing me before Fang Jianguo. Hearing that, Fang Jianguo turned his gaze to me just as I was trying to slip out the door. Seeing my plan had been exposed, I had no choice but to steel myself and tell them the whole story, from beginning to end. Then I took out my phone and showed them the hospital payment record. Zhang Ya and Fang Jianguo exchanged a look. Complex emotions flickered in their eyes. They now had a general idea of what had happened. Fang Jianguo wiped the sweat from his face with a tissue, then cleared his throat. His expression turned serious. He began earnestly lecturing me. "Yun Mo, young people are more open-minded these days. The men and women should still keep their distance. There are some things." My father did not finish what he was saying, but I understood what he meant. I nodded quickly as if making a promise. Still, I wanted to explain. Mom, Dad, I truly do not know how she ended up in my bed. I was exhausted last night. After I washed the dishes, she was still playing on her tablet. So I went to my room and fell asleep first. A trace of grievance showed in my eyes as I tried to defend myself. So, you are saying that girl climbed into your bed herself? Zhang Ya frowned, her eyes full of suspicion. Clearly, she did not believe me. I guess so. I was not sure myself. I spoke hesitantly, my eyes darting about. You ungrateful brat. You did it, but you will not own up to it. How could I have a son like you? Fang Jiangwo's face turned livid. My words had thoroughly enraged him. He shot to his feet, his hands flying to his waist to pull out his belt. He was ready to teach his still defiant son a harsh lesson. Hey, Dad, let us talk this out. Facing Dad's leather belt, I hurriedly shouted, I'll take responsibility. Given the situation, explaining further would only make things worse. I had to calm them down first. Fang Jiangwo's hand froze in midair. His gaze was sharp, as if he could see straight through me. And how exactly will you take responsibility? Do not brush me off. Give me something concrete. I shrugged helplessly, trying to soothe my agitated parents. Mom, Dad, please calm down first. We need to find her first, right? My eyes were earnest. But even if we find her, we have to see what she wants. That is true. Zhang Ya nodded. Her expression softened slightly, seeing that I truly meant to take responsibility. Fang Jiangwo relaxed somewhat as well. He put away that terrifying belt. Without another word. Did you ask where she is from? Zhang Ya looked deeply concerned. What does her family do? How many people are in her family? 2.5 hours later, Zhang Ya sat in the front passenger seat, reminding me, if you find her, remember to let us know. Though she had only met that girl briefly, who would not want a beautiful daughter-in-law? As for Yan Lan, Zhang Ya could not help sighing when she thought of her. After all, when it came to young people's affairs, parents could not interfere too much. That was simply how things stood. After thinking for a moment, she decided she needed to warn me, to put any thoughts of Yan Lan behind me for good. Zhang Ya looked serious, staring directly at me. If you dare to time her like some people do, just see whether your father breaks your legs. Mom, I understand. I had been wondering how to tell them about this, but it had somehow resolved itself. Fang Jiangwo, beside her, added at just the right moment. A real man owns up to what he does. I nodded quickly in promise, afraid that if I was too slow, I would get another hour-long lecture. Only after I watched their car disappear did I finally breathe a sigh of relief. Back at my rented apartment, my bladder was protesting fiercely. I rushed to the bathroom. After that inexplicable string of events, plus half an hour of being lectured by both my parents, I had been desperate to pee for ages. After relieving myself, I was about to wash my hands when I spotted that pink bra hanging on the towel rack. My eyes widened instantly, and panic stirred inside me. But thankfully, if Mom had seen it, I would have gotten another long lecture. Mikai's breathtakingly beautiful face rose in my mind. I let out a heavy sigh and muttered resentfully to myself, you just walked away without a care, and I am the one suffering for it. But as I looked at the pink bra before me, I did not know what to do. If I took it, then when Mikai came back, would she not think I was a pervert? But if I left it there, and Mom suddenly came back, I would be finished. Then inspiration struck. I hurried to get a pair of chopsticks from the kitchen, then pulled out my phone to record. My face was full of conflict, and I kept muttering, forgive me. With my left hand, I cautiously picked up the bra with the chopsticks. With my right, I steadily filmed the whole process. Soon, I put the bra into a plastic bag and tucked it in the deepest part of the bedroom nightstand. Once it was done, I felt like a deflated balloon. I lay wearily on the bed, thinking about everything that had happened these past few days. I felt dazed, as though I were trapped in some absurd dream. I hoped she would never come back. More than 10 days passed. Early one morning, Mom called. I answered groggily. She said urgently, get home right away. Her voice was so loud that my ears rang. I woke up at once. After hanging up, I shot upright in bed. I did not dare waste a second, and hurriedly got up to wash. The last time Mom had sounded this urgent was when Grandma was hospitalized. My heart sank. Had something happened to Grandma? I rushed to the entrance of the complex. Just then, a taxi passed by. I quickly waved it down. Driver, stop. More than 10 minutes later, the taxi came to a smooth stop. The moment I stepped out, the sight before me made my eyes widen. More than 10 luxury cars were parked in the courtyard. The yard was full of people, all tall men dressed in black. Every one of them looked stern. 2 more stood ramrod straight at the gate. The taxi driver was about to ask for payment, but when he leaned out and saw the scene, he froze. Holy crap, who the hell did I just pick up? With a show like this, he must be rich or powerful. While the driver stood there stunned, I took out my phone and paid. After politely thanking him, I turned to leave. The driver hurriedly asked, "Kid, what is going on at your place?" Just as I was about to shake my head, the 2 men at the gate jogged over. They wore broad smiles. "Young Master Yunmo." I froze. "Young Master?" Were they calling me? I looked around, but there was no one else there. Only then did I realize they meant me. Being called Young Master made me secretly thrilled. No wonder rich people in television dramas loved that title. I used to think it was futile thinking, but now I understood how good it felt. But why were they calling me that? They looked like bodyguards. Could Dad actually be some big shot? Had he hidden it from me all these years to raise me poor? Heh. Thinking of that, the corners of my mouth curled up. I could almost see myself driving a sports car, with beautiful women all around me. After indulging in that fantasy for a moment, I came back to myself. After exchanging a few pleasantries with them, I entered the courtyard. The moment I reached the living room, I saw the sofa, with Mikai seated in the middle. Why was she here? I was stunned, nearly crying out. Holy crap, it looked like she was behind this whole spectacle. My dream of being a rich heir ended before it even began. I became even more curious about Mikai's identity. Could it really be like in those novels? Was the girl I had casually saved some tycoon's daughter? That would be ridiculously melodramatic. The moment I entered, Zhang Ya pulled me to one side of the sofa. Dad, Fang Jiangwo, sat beside me. As soon as I sat down, the 2 gray-haired elders opposite me looked me over from head to toe. Their sharp eyes seemed to see right through me. The 2 elders exuded wealth, elegance, and dignity. Their expressions were grave, as though they had just discussed something momentous. Seeing how awkward things were, Zhang Ya was the first to break the silence. She told me the entire story, from beginning to end. When I heard the word marriage, my head began to buzz. I was completely dumbfounded. Oh my God, Mom. What are you saying? You want me to marry her? I sprang to my feet, my hands flailing, wildly agitated. Zhang Ya nodded. There is absolutely nothing between us. Nothing happened. If you do not believe me, ask her. I urgently pointed at Mikai. She quickly turned away, unwilling to look at me. Hey, explain it. We really did not do anything. I cried anxiously, my face full of confusion. Seeing this, Fang Jiangwo whispered in my ear, "Do not forget your promise. Her parents are here now. Time to make good on it." Zhang Ya chimed in. Exactly. She is such a beautiful girl. You got lucky, so quit acting like the victim. As she spoke, she nudged me with her elbow. That still does not mean you can arrange our marriage. Have you even asked what she wants? Knowing I could not fight them, I put the question directly to Mikai. I do not mind. She lowered her head, her voice barely audible. I was stunned. This had to be the cheap booze talking, I thought. Mom, slap me. I must be dreaming. I looked at Zhang Ya pleadingly, but she said, "Stop fooling around. Everyone is watching. You said yourself that you would take responsibility. Were you lying to your father and me? Of course not, but I knew full well that saying no would end badly for me." 2.5 hours later, I sat in the back of a Maybach, my brow tightly furrowed. Hey, what are you doing? Mikai sat with her arms crossed, cheeks puffed out. She looked like an angry little cat with its fur standing up. Yunmo is such a jerk, she muttered softly. Her beautiful eyes flashed with indignation. Does getting a marriage certificate with me make you feel wronged? She demanded, staring at me. I jumped in surprise, quickly waving my hands. It is not that. I had to admit that Mikai was stunning. If she was considered ugly, there would be very few beautiful women in the world. She said petulantly, "Then I will leave." I opened my mouth, but did not know how to respond. The fact that my parents were holding the household registration book made their stance clear. They had clearly already accepted Mikai as their daughter-in-law. If she ran off, I would probably get a beating with Dad's belt. I let out a heavy sigh. That is not what I meant. If you had explained, we would not have ended up here. That night, we really did not do anything. After a moment of thought, Mikai said quietly, "I will explain later. I have my reasons." Remembering her impulsiveness that night, she felt somewhat guilty too. If not for that, things would not have gone this far. In the end, I could only nod helplessly. So, where are we going now? looking at the unfamiliar streets outside. I could not help asking. Clearly, we were not heading to register our marriage. Mikai glanced at me, then lightly tapped my hair with a finger. She pursed her lips. You plan to register our marriage with that hairstyle? She remembered how my refined features had shown when I pushed my hair back. She truly could not understand why I wore such an unconventional hairstyle. I was clearly handsome. Her words made me a little embarrassed. It felt like my girlfriend was asking why I was still holding on to something from my ex. I had planned to cut it before anyway. But now there was one big problem. I rubbed the back of my neck and said softly, I do not have any money. Mikai could not help laughing. Her clear laughter echoed through the car. After laughing for a while, she realized she had lost her composure. She quickly covered her mouth, but her beautiful eyes still sparkled with amusement. I have your money, she said with a mischievous blink. I looked completely confused. What do you mean? She said. Annie transferred your living expenses to me. She said I am in charge of the money. I was completely baffled when I heard that. All I could do was sigh helplessly. I felt utterly miserable. I had only tried to save someone out of kindness, and now I did not even control my own living expenses. I was exhausted. Just end me already. When we reached the marriage registry, I reached out and stopped Mikai. Bring out the agreement. She had just said she had her reasons. I did not know the details, but it looked as though she was being forced into this marriage. Based on the novels I had read, Mikai would definitely be pulling out a marriage agreement right about now, proposing a fake marriage, with all kinds of terms listed in it. When the time was up, she would pay me a generous sum. I did not believe that after knowing me for only 2 days, she wanted us to become a real married couple. Mikai looked utterly baffled. What do you mean? She clearly did not understand. I patiently explained it to her. After listening, Mikai gave a slight smile. Fine, let us go. With that, she tried to walk on again. I stopped her again. Hey, wait. She frowned slightly. What now? I rubbed my hands together and asked awkwardly, should we not discuss the price? A teasing glint flashed in her eyes. Her lips curved into a smile. How much do you want? I held up one finger. 1 million. But then I shook my head. 1 million a year. That price could not have been more reasonable to me. To my surprise, Mikai nodded right away. All right. I froze. This was not how I expected it to go. Should she not be haggling? Wait, what was I even thinking? It was not as if I were selling myself. Looking at her utterly calm expression, I began to regret it. Had I asked for too little? I cleared my throat, pretending to stay calm. Let us go. Then we entered the marriage registry side by side. The 2.5 hours we spent waiting to register flew by. Mikai and I walked out of the marriage registry, our red marriage certificates in hand. I stared at my marriage certificate in a daze. Before my wonderful college life had even begun, I was already married, even if it was a fake marriage. And we would divorce when the agreement expired. But if I met a girl I liked someday, I could not help worrying that my marriage history would scare her off. At least 1 million a year was some consolation. By chance, I caught sight of Mikai. She held her marriage certificate high, wearing a radiant smile. She looked warm and beautiful in the sunlight. I am heading home, I said stiffly. Mikai paused in surprise. She quickly tucked the certificate into her little bag, then jogged after me, hearing footsteps behind me. I was puzzled. I turned with a frown. Why are you following me? She looked completely matter-of-fact. Going home. Could her home be this way too? That seemed unlikely. I shook my head, laughing at how much I had been through. My imagination was running wild. She was a wealthy heiress. Why would she live with a poor guy like me? I stopped paying attention to her and quickened my pace toward the apartment complex. I just wanted to get home and rest. The past 2 days had been too surreal. I was mentally exhausted. Mikai watched me walk away and muttered quietly, You dummy. You did not even wait for me. Unable to keep up with me, Mikai simply found a spot by the road and sat down. She took out the marriage certificate we had just received and gently stroked the photo. Complex emotions filled her eyes. So, I am married just like that. It did not feel real. Thinking of the agreement I had mentioned, the corners of her lips lifted slightly, forming a gentle smile. Only you think this is a fake marriage. I do not treat marriage as a joke. Then she took out her phone. After snapping several photos of the marriage certificate and sending them to her grandparents, she put the certificate back in her bag and headed for my rented apartment. I went home and took a shower, then picked up my tablet and logged into Play. By chance, I ran into my old deskmate, Li Yanong. We quickly teamed up for a 2-player match against Cheng Yaojian. Li Yanong's anxious voice came through the game microphone. Only one player remained on each side, and each side had only one crystal left. Whichever side was wiped out would lose. Hearing that, I controlled Han Xin and chased Cheng Yaojian. Just as I was about to catch Cheng Yaojian, the door opened with a click. My hand jolted, and my controls froze instantly. I turned back in shock. My screen immediately turned gray. Ignoring whether I had won or lost, I asked in disbelief, "How do you have a key?" Mikai took off her shoes and casually muttered, "Mom gave it to me." "Yunmo, why is there a girl's voice at your place?" Li Yanong's voice came through my headphones. "Did you not say a few days ago that you had given up pursuing Yan Lan? But that does not sound like Yan Lan. That is strange." I made up an excuse. "It is the food delivery girl. I am done playing. I was not telling anyone about getting married. Not even my closest friend." Though Li Yanong was confused, he did not press further. After I exited the game, I remembered what Mikai had said, and corrected her with a frown. "That is my mom." Mikai looked up and reluctantly rolled her eyes at me. "Your mom. Your mom, all right." I opened my mouth to argue, but something felt off. It sounded like she had insulted me. "Oh, right? What is this supposed to mean?" Coming back to my senses, I looked at Mikai. "I am living here." Mikai looked as if it were obvious. "Living here?" I raised my voice. "Should a wealthy heiress not live in a villa and ride in luxury cars to school every day?" Mikai said helplessly, "My family does not own a place around here. It is over 20 minutes from school, and the daily commute is tiring." "All right." I paused. That actually made sense. That evening, Mikai and I sat on the sofa. "Yunmo, I am hungry." Mikai turned toward me, looking at me pitifully. Her voice soft and slightly coquettish. I was scrolling through my phone. The corner of my mouth twitched. Does this girl think she is my housewife already? This is only a fake marriage. I shot Mikai a sit-along look and teased. "Princess, does your family not have chefs? Why not have them cook and deliver it? It would be easier." Mikai blurted out, "Of course we do. But I am sick of their food. I just want to eat what you make." The taste of the food I made that night still seemed to linger on her tongue. It had been warm and comforting, just like her mother's cooking. It tasted like home. But her mother was gone. At that thought, Mikai's gaze dimmed, and her eyes misted over. I had been about to argue, but when I looked up, I met her reddened eyes. My heart jolted. I slapped my forehead. Was she really going this far just to make me cook? With acting skills like that, it would be a shame not to go into show business. Sigh. All right. I just cannot stand seeing a girl cry, especially when she looks so helpless and pitiful. Fine. You win. What do you want to eat? Mikai's eyes lit up. She asked tentatively, "Will you make me noodles?" Before long, I came out of the kitchen carrying steaming bowls of noodles. Their aroma instantly filled the apartment. "That smells amazing." Mikai had been lazily sprawled on the sofa, but sniffed out the scent like a little hound and hurried over. She came to the table. Staring at the noodles, Mikai kept saying how good they smelled. But when she saw the bright green cilantro in the bowl, she hesitated. Who actually likes cilantro? "Thank you." She took the chopsticks, forcing a strained smile. After a brief hesitation, Mikai asked, "Do you eat cilantro?" I had barely nodded when Mikai dumped all the cilantro from her bowl into mine. That was fast. How many years has she been single? Her future boyfriend will definitely be lucky, I said with a laugh. "Next time, I will leave it out if you do not like it." "Thank you. You are so nice." Mikai's eyes sparkled. As she generously praised me, she eagerly picked up her chopsticks and lowered her head, wolfing down the noodles. As she ate, she mumbled, So good." Her chopsticks flew between bowl and mouth, never stopping for a second, watching her devour the food like a whirlwind. I found the contrast surprising. Anyone who did not know better would think she had not eaten in ages. Yet somehow, I found Mikai utterly adorable like this. A few minutes later, Mikai had cleaned her bowl of noodles. She rubbed her round little belly and looked up. She gazed longingly at the untouched bowl of noodles in front of me. Her eyes were full of longing. Of course, I understood what she meant. It was both amusing and helpless. With a helpless laugh, I could only ask, "Want more?" "Another bowl." Mikai blinked her big eyes and nodded. I picked out the cilantro and was about to get up and make another bowl in the kitchen when the phone on the table suddenly rang. It was a video call from my mom, Zhang. I quickly answered it. "Mom, I called with a smile. Well, is that really my son? Zhang Ya looked astonished. She clearly had not expected me to look so handsome with a new hairstyle. It really is your son. The corner of my mouth lifted, and I smiled with confidence. As Mikai slurped her noodles, she muttered quietly, "Narcissist." She looked up and studied me. She secretly admitted that I was actually a little handsome, and his cooking was just as good as his mother's. Stop showing off. Where is Mikai? Zhang Ya asked teasingly. She had not heard from me all day, and had been dying to see our marriage certificate, but she was afraid of disturbing us. So she held back until now, when she simply could not wait any longer. Mikai swallowed her last bite of noodles, then tilted her head and sweetly called Annie. I am here. When Zhang Ya saw her gentle daughter-in-law appear on screen, her smile grew even brighter. You are still calling me, Annie? Mikai hesitated. She remembered what had happened earlier, and gave me an amused look. You told me she was your mom, not mine. Not mine. Let us see how you handle this. Noticing her gaze, I panicked for a moment. Which little troublemaker has been plotting behind my back? Yen Mo, you have gotten bold again. Zhang Ya instantly guessed what was going on. Her tone stern. She was certain her son had stopped Mikai from calling her mom. I was completely baffled. Before I could figure it out, I was getting scolded. The lecture lasted half an hour. Feng Jiangwo came out after his shower and joined in too, chiming in from time to time, watching me get put in my place. Mikai covered her mouth and giggled nonstop. Her eyes curved into little crescents. Mikai, Mom has stood up for you. Thank you, Mom. This time, Mikai did not hesitate. She called out brightly and clearly. The two chatted for a while longer. Then she handed the phone back to me. My mom wanted a photo of our marriage certificate. I took a photo of it and sent it to her. She ended the call, not wanting to disturb the newlyweds. She also wanted a grandson as soon as possible. Once that was settled, an awkward silence fell between Mikai and me. Remembering how Mikai had set me up, I demanded, You did that on purpose, did you not? She turned her head away without answering. She knew my retaliation was coming. Seeing that she ignored me, there was nothing I could do. I could only sigh helplessly. I had brought home a real little tyrant. More than 10 minutes later, after I had eaten my fill, I came out of the kitchen. I glanced at Mikai. I am going to bed. She froze. Then, where do I sleep? I smiled. Sleep on the couch. This rich young lady left her mansion empty, yet insisted on squeezing into my tiny apartment. There was only one bed. You have some nerve, Yunmo. You want me to sleep on the couch? This is the place I rent. I pay the rent. If she refused to leave, would I have to sleep on the couch every day? I did not want that kind of life. No way. Mikai bristled. She had slept on the couch before. It was rock hard, and she could not sleep on it. She did not want to go to school tomorrow with dark circles under her eyes. Then, what do we do? There is only one bed. Do you have a better idea? I spread my hands. Sleeping on the floor was not realistic. I lived alone, so I did not have extra sheets or blankets. Unless we went out to buy some now. What should we do? Let us sleep together. She hesitated, before saying softly, it was the best solution she could think of. I stared at her, utterly baffled. What kind of logic is that? Do you even know what you are saying? Sleep together. How could you even suggest that? We are legally married. Aren't you afraid I might do something while you are asleep? Mikai lowered her head and thought seriously. What should she do? If they did not sleep together, she would definitely have dark circles tomorrow. But what if he really meant it? I chuckled softly. Mikai happened to notice. She thought I was laughing at her. We had already kissed and held each other. Whatever. To hell with it. She would just go for it. She threw caution to the wind and told me, I am not afraid. Warm yellow light fell across Zhangya's face in the bedroom. She sat on the edge of the bed, holding her phone. She opened the photo Yunmo had sent. Look, our daughter-in-law is so beautiful. She and our Yunmo are made for each other. Zhang Ya could not have been more pleased. But after waiting a while, she heard no response. Zhang Ya turned around in confusion. Fang Jiangwo was sitting beside her, looking miserable. Her smile immediately froze. Her expression darkened. Today is the big day our son got married. Why are you making such a miserable face? What is with that expression? Do not make me kick you out of bed on such a happy day. Zhang Ya put her hands on her hips and snapped at him. Fang Jiangwo silently groaned. He looked up at Zhang Ya. You saw Yunmo's reaction too. I think he still cannot let go of Yan Lan. Hearing that, Zhang Ya could not help sighing. Yes, she understood that perfectly well. But things had come this far. What else could they do? They were fated to meet, but not meant to be. Zhang Ya shook her head. Her voice tinged with regret. Yinlan is a good girl, but our daughter-in-law is even better, isn't she? Yes, but there is quite a gap between our families. Fang Jiangwo muttered quietly, his eyes filled with concern. Since you know the gap is so wide, why are you not getting to sleep? Go to work and work hard tomorrow. Zhang Ya glared, raising her voice. Your 40s are exactly when you should be working hard. Zhang Ya's sudden scolding caught Fang Jiangwo off guard. He was left speechless, completely bewildered. He deeply regretted it. He should have kept his mouth shut. Seeing Fang Jiangwo so dejected, Zhang Ya could not help chuckling. Then she gently patted his shoulder, comforting him. The children will find their own way. All we can do is support them quietly from behind. Meanwhile, I had just entered the bedroom when I found Mikai happily bustling about. She gripped the blanket tightly with both hands and gave it a hard shake, then folded it into a long strip and placed it between us on the bed. After setting it down, she stepped back to paces, tilted her head, and inspected it. She still did not think it was secure enough, so she hurried to the living room. Before long, she returned carrying several sofa cushions. She lined them up beside the blanket. Once she had finished all that, she finally sighed in relief and climbed into bed. Are you ready? I am turning off the light, I reminded her softly. After she answered, the room was plunged into darkness. In the dark, both of us lay there with our eyes wide open. Yet neither of us spoke. Time passed little by little. The room was so quiet, we could only hear each other's soft breathing. Half an hour later, Mikai's constant tossing and turning was driving me crazy. I could not fall asleep at all. Could you stop tossing and turning? I could not help speaking up. Mikai had been lying there with her eyes closed, silently counting sheep. My sudden voice startled her. Her already frayed nerves tightened further. What? Why did you suddenly speak? She muttered softly, her voice carrying a hint of grievance. Realizing something was off in her tone, I quickly softened my tone. By the way, when will you give me the agreement? We will talk about it when we have time. If I had not brought it up, Mikai would have nearly forgotten about it. But judging by my tone, I seemed especially eager to get the divorce agreement. Was it because of her? Our previous messages flashed through my mind. I did not press her further. After all, the longer it lasted, the more money I would get. Thinking about the reason behind all this, I could not help asking, why did you suddenly act like that morning? I did not spell it out. My voice was low, clearly sparing her embarrassment. Mikai explained haltingly. In the darkness, her cheeks turned faintly red. She was glad I could not see it. Seeing how shy she was, I changed the subject. Then why did you hold me? I asked directly. I had a slight fever in the middle of the night. I felt cold. Mikai's voice grew quieter and quieter, barely louder than a mosquito's buzz. Why did you not wake me? This is serious, I asked reproachfully, my brow unconsciously furrowing. I was afraid you'd wake up and take advantage of me while I was too weak to resist. And take advantage of me. Her words stunned me. Her words made me wonder whether any trust existed between people at all. You actually do not trust me, I replied helplessly. I am sorry. Her voice was filled with guilt. I froze for a moment. I had not expected her to apologize. I wanted to speak, but had nothing to say. I broke the silence. Then why did you come back and agree to marry me? That day, Grandma saw us sleeping together. Old people can be rather conservative. She paused and took a deep breath. And my parents were on a business trip overseas. Their plane crashed. By the end, she began sobbing quietly. I listened quietly and finally understood. Behind that glamorous heiress was a hidden sorrow. I wanted to comfort her, but my lips moved without a word. After a moment of silence, I instinctively reached out and gently pulled her into my arms. The barriers she had just made now seemed unnecessary and ridiculous. Perhaps my sudden gesture gave Mikai a sense of security. She gradually stopped sobbing. Then how long will our fake marriage last? Mikai hesitated. My grandparents' only wish now is to see me start a family and build a career. Then I understood at once. I was not sure how long it would be. After thinking it over, I asked, is there anyone you like? Hearing the question, Mikai felt her heart jolt. Why was he suddenly asking that? Could he be trying to pursue me? She answered softly. In fact, many boys had confessed to her, but she had not accepted a single one. Why do you not try dating someone? As I said that, I felt uneasy too. I should stop fantasizing about Mikai and me. We were from completely different worlds. Dating. What did that feel like? Mikai's thoughts drifted away. She wondered what it would be like if he pursued her. When I reached the university gate, among all the large canopies, I found the one for my major, then hurried toward the School of Management freshman registration desk. Hello, miss. I am a freshman enrolling this year. I am here to register. With a polite smile, I placed my admission letter and identity card on the small desk. The young woman took them and checked the information. She gave me a warm smile. Student Lin, I am the School of Management's freshman counselor. My name is Zhu Li. Please register your personal information here. As she spoke, she handed me the form on the desk. Just as I picked up a pen and bent down to fill it out, a sharp cry of surprise rang out beside me. Yin Lan had appeared nearby, pulling a suitcase. Standing some distance away, she hesitated as she looked at my back. She had thought I was a freshman this year, someone she should get to know as a potential boyfriend. As for Yunmo, he could get lost. However, when she came closer, the moment she saw the identity card I had placed on the desk, it was like a bolt from the blue. But the identity card on the table left no room for doubt. No matter how unwilling she was to admit it, she had no choice. Yin Lan's eyes were full of disdain. He had ignored her last time, and now he had actually enrolled in the same major as her. If you do not apologize to me properly today, do not expect me to speak to you again. However, I merely gave her a slight nod, then continued filling out the form carefully. I did not look at her once. My best friend, Jibo, covered his mouth with his hand, holding back his laughter. If he had not known Yin Lan since childhood, he would have burst out laughing. But seeing me like this, he looked deeply relieved. It seemed I had truly made up my mind this time. After military training, I'll introduce you to a few pretty girls. Meanwhile, a wave of gasps rose from the surrounding crowd. Mikai walked out through the university gate. Her skin was white as snow, and her figure was graceful and alluring. An aloof air clung to her every move. Mikai scanned the crowd. She did not find her best friend. Instead, she spotted someone unexpected. He had vanished as soon as she woke that morning. She had not expected to see him here. Was he a student at Jiangbei University too? Then why had she never seen him before? Mikai slowly walked toward us. Most eyes were drawn to her as if by a magnet. Is the campus beauty here to welcome students? She cannot be here to meet her boyfriend, can she? The campus beauty is already a junior. Other than exchanging a few words with Zhao, the campus heartthrob. Have you ever seen her talk to another guy? Countless people have confessed to her, and every one of them was rejected. Yunmo, what is your problem? Yin Lan had not noticed anything happening around her. She was furious. Yunmo had ignored her again. She marched up to confront me. At that moment, I was agonizing over the family member section, unsure whether to include Mikai. We had officially registered our marriage. Though it was a fake marriage, it was legally valid. Would listing myself as married affect Mikai? After all, she had only agreed last night to give dating a try. Yin Lan's face reddened with rage. Her chest heaved as she pointed at me, unable to say a word for a long while. Gritting her teeth, she remained convinced I would beg for her forgiveness, even as turmoil churned in her heart. Just then, Mikai walked over. Hearing what I said, she smiled sweetly, pretending not to know me. Junior, did you run into a problem? Tell me, your senior can help. She even gave me a playful wink. I turned slightly aside and replied quietly, with a wry smile, can you pretend you do not know me? I could feel the knife-sharp stares around me. Whispers rose now and then. Who knew what stories they were making up about me? Seeing how uncomfortable I was, Mikai's smile deepened, her eyes curving into crescents. I only saw that you needed help, and I happened to be free. Seeing that she insisted, I sighed helplessly and could only give in. I pointed to the family member section. We're only fake married. So, should I put your information here? I have filled out everything else. At that, a sly smile touched Mikai's lips. She took another step toward me and tilted her head as she asked, Junior, what do you think? Jibo was stunned, watching the two of us chat so animatedly. He found it hard to believe. Since when had the campus beauty ever taken the initiative to talk to someone? He had even said he would introduce Yunmo to a campus beauty. That brat deserved a beating. Though he said that, he was happy for me. If the two of us really got together, having the campus beauty as his best friend's girlfriend would give him something to brag about and make everyone else jealous. Still, he had no intention of staying. He did not want to interrupt his best friend's romantic moment. So he said goodbye and left. Yinlan stared fiercely at Mikai and me, her hands unconsciously clenched into fist, her nails nearly digging into her palms. He was actually talking with some girl I did not know. So happily. And she was even prettier than me. Does he not know he should keep his distance from other girls? Yinlan muttered through gritted teeth. But what she saw next made her mind short-circuit. Mikai picked up the pen from the desk, bent down slightly. In the family members section of the registration form, she wrote down her name and phone number. In the relationship field, she wrote, spouse. Yinlan's mind went blank. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. She must have written it wrong. How could he possibly fall for someone else? For 4 years, he had been completely devoted to me. He could not have married someone at random just because he could not win me over. After completing the enrollment process, Mikai and I left the university. Students occasionally passed by. I sighed in relief, finally free of all that attention. I never imagined the campus beauty Jibo mentioned was Mikai. Mikai teased, your childhood sweetheart seems upset. I paused slightly. How do you know we're childhood sweethearts? I did not remember telling Mikai about Yinlan. She casually made up an excuse. Your mother told me. Luckily, she thought quickly and came up with that excuse. He probably would not call to confirm it. Mom even told Mikai that. Do I not get any privacy? So I asked, why did you suddenly ask about that? Mikai remained perfectly composed. Technically, I'm your wife. It is only natural for me to care about your romantic history, right? Aren't we fake married? She played dumb. We have not signed the agreement yet, have we? I thought about it. True enough. Mikai's eyes gleamed mischievously. But I want to add a clause. Neither of us can date anyone until we divorce. Why? I was confused. Mikai looked at me with a mischievous smile. Do you want to get cheated on? I hurriedly shook my head. Of course not. Mikai leaned close to my ear and whispered, you could introduce yourself to me too. My ears instantly turned red. My heart raced. After freezing for a moment, I took a deep breath and stammered, me. Mikai nodded with a playful smile. Do you want to pursue me? After saying that, she stared at me without blinking, waiting to see my reaction. Mikai's question made me hesitate. Saying no was impossible, unless I had lost my mind. Who would not want a campus beauty like Mikai as a girlfriend? What troubled me was whether Mikai was joking. If it was only a joke, then admitting it would make me look ridiculous. Just as I hesitated, she suddenly changed the subject. Yunmo, I am hungry. Make me something to eat when we get home. Oh, okay. More than 10 minutes later, we returned to the apartment. I immediately went to the kitchen to cook. Bored, Mikai casually picked up the tablet on the sofa, then started using it. When she opened the short video app, a video titled, What is in a Guy's Private Space? Caught her attention. After watching it, her face filled with curiosity. Driven by that intense curiosity, she picked up my tablet to look around, but it required a password. Mikai's face fell at once. What should I do? I really want to see. She quickly tried one password after another, but none of her attempts worked. Then she wondered if it might be the same as his phone passcode. So she got up and went to the kitchen doorway. Yunmo, what is your phone passcode? I was peeling potatoes in the kitchen. Hearing her, I was a little puzzled. Why are you suddenly asking for my passcode? I was confused. What do you need it for? Mikai immediately made up an excuse. I want to call Mom. I see. I understood at once. Mikai did not have my parents' contact information. Thinking she really needed Zhang, I gave her the passcode without a second thought. I even gave her the last digits of the number, so she would not call the wrong one. I never labeled my contacts. Back on the sofa, Mikai immediately entered my phone passcode. It worked. The moment she opened the photo gallery, the screen filled with pictures of anime girls' beautiful legs. Black stockings, white stockings, every style more alluring than the last. Her eyes curved with amusement. Having finished peeling the potatoes, I came out of the kitchen, completely puzzled. Weren't you making a call? The apartment is not that big. How come I did not hear a thing? As soon as I stepped behind Mikai, I saw her swiping through the photos one by one. They looked strangely familiar. Then I suddenly realized something. I hurriedly cried out, oh, damn! My shout startled Mikai. When she turned and saw me, guilt covered her face. She hurriedly explained, well, it opened by accident. Do you believe me? Mikai waited, but no response came. She groaned inwardly. All right. Even she did not believe that flimsy excuse. She spoke guiltily. I am sorry. I was wrong. Mikai looked like a mischievous child, caught red-handed doing something bad. I was utterly bewildered. What was this supposed to mean? Shouldn't I be the one dying of embarrassment? Why was she suddenly apologizing? Still, I knew how to take the way out she gave me. So I replied, Mikai, it is okay. Give me the tablet. Just as I was about to take the tablet she offered, Mikai slowly asked, do you have a thing for legs? No. I denied it without thinking. Though she had discovered my little secret, I really did not have a leg fetish. I just liked admiring beautiful things in my free time. All right. I let out a breath of relief. But when I said no, I caught a pleased look on her pretty face. No way. Then she asked again, whose legs are prettier, mine or the ones in those pictures? That question left me stunned. But seeing the hopeful sincerity in her eyes, I truly did not know how to answer. What is it? I cleared my throat and said, I have not seen your legs. Which was obviously not true. We had lived together for several days already. Jiangbei was hot, and she often wore short skirts, but I could not admit I had seen them, or she would think I was a pervert. She gave a non-committal response, then got up and returned to her bedroom. I quickly retreated to the kitchen as well. I did not want her asking any more shocking questions. After Mikai changed clothes in her bedroom, she lay on the bed and opened a local delivery app on her phone. Half an hour later, she was showering in the bathroom. I came out of the kitchen carrying the meal. Listening to the water running in the bathroom, I sat on the sofa and used my phone. A knock sounded at the door. I raised an eyebrow. Who could be knocking? I got up and walked to the door. The moment I opened it, a man in a local delivery uniform asked, is this the home of Jiangbei's #1 young wife? What the hell? My brain had not caught up yet. I grumbled to myself. The delivery guy patiently repeated himself. Before I could answer, Mikai, fresh from the shower, came out of the bathroom and immediately answered, yes. Under my astonished gaze, she quickly snatched the bag from the delivery guy, then ran back to her bedroom. She had actually forgotten to change her name when placing the order. Now look what happened. She was mortified. If only there were a crack in the floor to disappear into. All she wanted was somewhere to hide the bag, but there was nowhere suitable. She glanced at the bedside table. It would be easy to find there. Forget it. There was nowhere else to hide it. Mikai crouched on the floor and pulled open the bottom drawer. A bag immediately came into view. She opened it and froze. Inside was the underwear she had worn the day Yunmo rescued her. Yunmo would not do anything improper with her underwear, would he? The thought actually frightened Mikai. Then my voice came from the doorway. Dinner is ready. It will get cold soon. Naturally, I saw the pink underwear in her hand. For a moment, our eyes met. I hurriedly explained. It is not what you think. Mikai calmly replied, oh. Though she looked completely composed, she found my reaction amusing. She had not even said anything, yet I had reacted so strongly. I could not help thinking she looked adorable like that. More importantly, she had successfully shifted her embarrassment onto me. As a result, I even forgot to mock her username, Jiangbei Young Wife. At the dinner table, Mikai played the video I had recorded earlier. After watching it, she reached a conclusion. Yunmo really was a good person. He had even thought of that solution. Should she praise him for being thoughtful, or call him foolish? She glanced at me, my head lowered over my food. Mikai smiled knowingly. He seemed like a shy, big boy after all. On the athletic field at Jiangbei University, the first week of military training officially began. Naturally, we started by standing at attention. The instructor paced back and forth, inspecting us. Everyone held their breath, not daring to make a sound. The entire formation was so quiet, you could hear a pin drop. Then, just as we were about to finish and go eat, a sudden, what the hell, shattered the silence. Who said that just now? The instructor gave a sly grin. He had been looking for someone to make an example of. 5 seconds passed, then 10. After half a minute, no one had stepped forward. Looks like someone thinks they can get away with it. If they do not step out now, everyone trains an extra hour. Do you hear me? Everyone looked miserable. Who was it? Were they really going to make everyone suffer? Li Yanong, standing beside me, finally stepped forward. Reporting, instructor. I said it. Li Yanong and I had shared a desk in high school. By coincidence, we ended up in the same college class too. Yin Lan was with us as well. Explain yourself. Reporting, instructor. Someone just farted. Li Yanong answered honestly. The one who farted, step out. As expected, the two of us were punished with half an hour standing at attention. During that time, Jibo held milk tea in his left hand and an ice pop in his right. waving them in front of me. It drove me crazy. When the punishment ended, the two of us gave him a very friendly greeting. That day, after military training ended, a pin post appeared on the school forum, punished for an hour for farting. Haha. Are you trying to make me laugh to death? Then inherit my balance of 0.6 yuan. That guy is so handsome. He looks like someone I know. Do you mean he looks like your boyfriend? At a hot pot restaurant near Jiangbei University. I had no idea. I was already famous on the school forum. I was sitting with Li Yanong and Jibo. As we laughed and fooled around, two stunning beauties walked into the restaurant. Most eyes in the restaurant immediately turned toward them. The noisy room gradually fell quiet. Damn it, Zhao Ran. You had a hot pot without inviting me. One of the girls said with a frown. When Li Yanong saw one of them walking toward us, his eyes went wide. They nearly popped out of his head. No way. Has my lucky streak with women finally arrived? And with one of the campus beauties, no less. I must have saved all humanity in a past life to be this lucky. Li Yanong cheered inwardly. When he was little, his mother had a fortune teller read his future. The man predicted that many girls would ask for his contact information in college. As the girl drew closer, Li Yanong was celebrating wildly inside. Meanwhile, Jibo and I were still deep in conversation, completely oblivious to it all. A moment later, a girlish shout broke the calm. Jibo, you jerk. I finally found you. Jibo sucked in a sharp breath in pain. He hurriedly covered the ears she had yanked. When he saw who it was, he yelled, by Yahweh, what is wrong with you? Li Yanong's eager hopes instantly crumbled. You did not know? Shen Yu asked in return, her eyes full of surprise. No what? I do not know anything. I looked utterly baffled. Mikai was even more surprised. Is Jibo not your best friend? You do not even know he is engaged to Weiwei. I froze. My steps came to a stop. I never would have imagined it. Jibo and I had grown up together since we were toddlers. Yet he actually had a fiancée. Since when? How had I not heard even a hint about it? No way. I had to interrogate him when I got the chance. That punk hid something this huge from me. That punk clearly had no respect for me, his dad. It never occurred to me that I was hiding things from Jibo too. Seeing my dazed expression, Mikai could not help but chuckle softly. So you really did not know? I nodded awkwardly. As we passed a street barbecue stand, Mikai tilted her head toward me. Are you full? Want some barbecue? Her voice carried a gentle smile, and her eyes were full of anticipation. Seeing that, how could I possibly refuse? We walked over to the stand and ordered a few skewers from the vendor. Then we strolled slowly along the familiar street. It smells so good. Mikai took a deep breath and sighed contentedly. Before long, she devoured the skewers in her hand. Watching her, the corners of my mouth lifted. This wealthy heiress had lived a pampered life. She had probably never eaten much street food. She was enjoying it too much to care about keeping up appearances. Thinking that, I waved the grilled sausage in my hand and smiled. Want a sausage? Mikai stared at it and licked her lips. After hesitating, she reached out and took it. Thank you. I noticed the grease at the corner of her mouth, and the longer I looked, the more tempted I became. In the end, I could not resist. I took out a tissue and slowly moved closer to Mikai. The instant my fingertips touched her cheek, her face turned red as a ripe tomato. Only then did I realize I had been too forward. I quickly pulled my hand back, stammering an explanation. I just saw some grease at the corner of your mouth. Mikai murmured softly. I know. Just be gentle. I looked completely puzzled. Why had Mikai said something so shocking again? But thinking about it, this young lady did blurt out startling things now and then. I reached out again and slowly wiped the grease from her lips. As the tissue touched her, her cheeks quietly flushed red. Her eyes revealed both panic and shyness. Are you done yet? Mikai tilted her head slightly, her long lashes trembling softly. Yeah, I replied softly. I crumpled the used tissue into a ball and held it in my hand. In the living room, Mikai rushed straight to the bathroom as soon as we got home. I sat on the couch playing games until I was nearly asleep. When she finally came out, her damp hair draped over her shoulders. Junior, can you blow dry my hair? As she spoke, she waved the hairdryer. I did not know when it started, but calling me Junior had become second nature to her. I quickly sat up and took the hairdryer. I said casually, sure, I can, but I have never blow-dried a girl's hair before. At that, Mikai's eyes lit up. So she was the first. At the thought, she could barely suppress her smile. Holding back a grin, she said, my hair is long, so just be gentle, Junior. Before she even finished, I nearly dropped the hairdryer. Just be gentle? Are you sure you mean blow drying your hair? As I gently dried her hair, I said, when it is just the two of us, could you stop calling me Junior? I am 2 months older than Mikai, and it did not sit right with me. Junior is nice. What else should I call you? Mikai's eyes crinkled with amusement, her expression playful. You are not hoping I will call you husband, are you? Of course not. I broke into a fit of coughing. Mikai blinked impressed. Really? I nodded frantically and assured her. Really? Absolutely not. She muttered softly, but I could not make it out. The hairdryer was buzzing nonstop. Help me style my hair. Mikai changed the subject, mischief glinting in her eyes. I nodded without thinking. Can you do twin ponytails? I can. I skillfully began styling her hair. Looks like you have styled plenty of girls' hair. She pouted slightly. I looked confused. Was she jealous? No way. I could not help asking. Why are you asking that all of a sudden? Is this about Yan Lan? You are not cheating on me, are you? Mikai raised a delicate brow, her tone lightly reproachful. That is so you? Your logic is as clear as ever. Only you could leap from styling hair to cheating. When she was angry, her cheeks puffed out, like an indignant pufferfish. Had this somehow become Yan Lan again? I carefully asked. Are you angry? Mikai turned her head away. I am not. When I was little, I often styled my mother's hair. Other than her, you are the first girl whose hair I have ever styled. I explained gently, my eyes full of sincerity. She looked at me, only half convinced. For real. If you do not believe me, I will call my mom. I pretended to take out my phone to tease her. I believe you. Mikai broke into a radiant smile and spun around in place. Then she suddenly asked, do I look good? I answered instinctively. Your hair looks great. Of course it does. Look who styled it. What a fool. I was not asking about my hair. The next morning, Mikai and I finished breakfast and headed to school. Classes officially began today. The dreaded days had arrived. I walked into the classroom and immediately spotted Li Yunong in the back row. I hurried over and took a seat. Have you seen the school forum? Li Yunong asked. They updated the campus beauty and Heartthrob rankings. I thought it was some earth-shattering news. With Mikai's stunning beauty, her place at the top was beyond question. The top two were still Campus Belshen and Campus Belbai. Li Yunong continued. The third campus beauty. Guess who it is? Li Yunong left me in suspense. There is a third campus beauty. I wondered to myself. She must be a freshman. He slowly said. She is in our major. Li Yunong nodded, his face full of approval. Yan Lan. My face darkened when I heard that name. I never would have guessed that Yan Lan was the third campus beauty. Surprised, Li Yunong teased. I nodded instinctively, my feelings a tangled mess. Stroking his chin, Li Yunong said enviously, you are ranked #1 campus heartthrob. How does that feel? Becoming the campus heartthrob was something I had never expected. I never thought I would become the campus heartthrob. Heh. Just standard stuff. No need to be impressed. I cleared my throat, feigning composure. The corners of my mouth curled up, my grin stretching nearly from ear to ear. As we chatted animatedly, a beautiful girl entered the classroom. Her gaze swept the room before settling on the empty seat beside me. She walked straight over. Yunmo,